We get you the ROI from AI. And Dr. Jeff is in the building tonight.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another episode of AI Hustle with Dr. Jeff. I am your host, Dr. Jeff, founder and CEO for Prism AI Consultants, where we help you get the ROI, return on investment from AI. So today what we're going to talk about is how to get the most out of Claude Code and Cowork. Yeah, so we're just going to jump right on in. I'm going to share my screen and do some use cases from this previous week. That I found to be extremely beneficial, and some evergreen lessons that I think will also be helpful. So for those who don't know, Claude Fable 5 is currently unavailable. What Fable 5 is, real quick, it is the next level model from Anthropic. It was Mythos, which was came out in February, but it had some extra security measures on it. Long story short, somebody jailbroke it and was able to get past those security measures, and the U.S. government said, hey, you got to be able to ensure that nobody can use this that is not American. And Anthropic was not able to do that immediately because they have lots of employees who are not American. So they shut it down for everybody, and they are trying to figure out how to fix that. So that's where it's at right now. It's a lot of backlash. People are upset because they feel as though, and this is true, where we're starting to go as a society is frontier models, or the best AI, is going to be gatekept. It's going to be behind extremely high paywalls, or just not released to the public at all. And that's not a society, that we want to live in. We want AI to be democratized so everybody can use the top models. However, what I will say that I have not seen many people saying is the biggest problem right now is not the AI isn't smart enough. The problem is people just don't know how to use the AI in general. So with this Fable, most people wasn't using it because it used up so much of your usage. You had to kind of be on a top tier plan to use it anyway. So a lot of people are on free plans or on the $20 plan, and with that, you're good with Sonnet 4.6. You can get most things done with that. So we're going to be using a 4.8, but all the things that I teach and coach on, you can use 4.6 Sonnet and be fine for the most part. All right, so that is a Fable. So the thing that I wanted to talk about today was, though, connectors. I wanted to get more into connectors. We're going to open up our side panel there with Claude, and then we're going to go to Customize. And then with the connectors, you have Connect Your Apps, Create New Skills, and then Browse Plugins. So then when you go to the Connect Your Apps standpoint, there's some new ones. So Lovable is now directly available with Claude plugin or Claude connectors. So a lot of people are building things and they've used Lovable to do that. Now you can just directly connect it to Claude. I will say, though, if you want to build things, you don't have to use Lovable. You can just use Claude Code. But a lot of people have a lot of already projects and things, so they have like Lovable in there. But the connectors that I say that are like hands down gotta get is you need your email one. So I'm using Gmail, but it doesn't have to be Gmail. You could use you would be able to you could use your Microsoft Office. If that's the one that you have, then that will be Office 365 or Microsoft 365, and that's a connector. You want to connect your calendar, so if you're using Microsoft, then that's going to be automatic, but if not, Google Calendar, whatever calendar you have, and then you want to connect your Drive. So I've spoken about that before, but some connectors that I'm seeing many people use that they're getting like outstanding results. The first one is QuickBooks. So the QuickBooks connector is huge. So you click on that, I actually canceled my QuickBooks subscription this year for both my companies that I own because Claude was just so much better at it. But if you don't want to cancel QuickBooks, you can connect it, and then you can talk to the QuickBooks natural language, get reports, get different things done. So that has been a game changer for many people. That particular connector. Another one that I wanted to speak to is if you have a project management software. So, for example, if you have like Asana, that connector, huge. If you have Monday.com, that connector, huge. And the CRM piece, this is how you're going to actually get that ROI from a money standpoint, because CRMs like HubSpot is another one that you can connect as well. Let's just make sure you don't take my word for it. Let's just go ahead and see. HubSpot, number 10, the 10th most popular, right? And there's many other ones too. So with CRMs, once you connect it, then now you can talk natural language to it, and it can have. So if you have your email, you have your Drive, you have your calendar, and you have your CRM, that's everything that you need in order to convert clients. That's everything you need in order to nurture clients. That's everything you need in order to keep track. And then you also have PayPal. You see it in their Stripe too. So you got your PayPal, your Stripe integration. So if you have any type of e-commerce, then that's how you got that too. So it's like so many different connectors. And once it has it, all that boils down to is relevant context. And when you give the AI relevant context, it's a different game that you're playing. So that's the first thing I wanted to like really press on. And another piece too is whenever I'm talking to somebody in the beginning, I always speak to the transcription model piece, right? So it's like transcripts. Well, guess what? You got Otter now directly that connects to your So I'm going to connect my Otter. Now I already have an automation that I'm gonna have to use a different account to connect my Otter. So yeah, I'm gonna have to use a different account to connect my Otter. But I already have an automation that pulls my Otter into Google Drive, and then Google Drive is connected, as you saw with Claude. So that's how I'm able to see all my transcripts. From there, it automatically populates. But now you don't have to have that step. You can just connect it through. Claude. So Otter is big. Another big connector is Phantom. So Phantom has from a transcript standpoint, you can get that. There's other transcription apps too, but highly recommend look, Notion, huge for people who use it, right? So the takeaway from this is what software tools are you using currently? And does that integrate to Claude? Does that integrate to Codex ChatGPT? Because ChatGPT has connectors as well. And Google does, but it's not as simple as those two. So ChatGPT and Claude, the connectors are a little easier right now than the Google one is to connect the stuff. And I would say Claude is like the best. So Claude is like the best one, I would say, and then ChatGPT is the second, and then the rest of them. But it really is like, this is like where it starts. So if we're going over, okay, Dr. Jeff, what's the number one thing I need to do first is have some type of transcription tool that you're using consistently. And that's not easy because it requires behavior change. Even if you remove the friction from it, like I said, I use Otter, but if you're using whatever you're using, you can have it to where it's like automatic to turn on for your meetings. But what about if you are in person? How do you get that transcript? Well, if you have Otter, you have to manually just hit the button, but that's all just one tap. But what about if you're on the telephone? You can't use it if you're on the telephone. Well, for that, you can on your phone, you can just hit if you have an iPhone, there's the 3 dots, hit the 3 dots, and then it'll record the conversation. Pennsylvania is a state where you have to disclose that you're being recorded. So you would say, hey, is it okay if I record this conversation? Now, for the phones, it says this call is being recorded. So, you don't necessarily have to say that because it's telling the call is being recorded. And if you have an Android, it's the same thing. There is some type of TTS, most likely, depending on what type of phone you have, but I haven't seen in the past 6 months everybody who I've talked to who have Androids have been able to do this, even though they didn't know. So I think there's been some type of patch or update to all the Androids, but TTS or on it, and then it'll automatically record it, and then it'll save it into your files. So that's step one, is like to get the conversation, or to get the meeting, or to get the data, because that's all it is just the data, but it's just in text, automatic. And then now once you have that, if you have a connector to it, then you just talk to Claude and then be able to get it. But if you don't, then you do an automation to put it in your drive, and then you'll be able to talk to it in that regard. So first is having that transcript, that behavior change, to remember, I got to get this so that I'll have all the relevant context. And then once you have that, then you can do something with it. I did. So we're going to. So this is a site that I created, drjeffbullock.com. And I created this site using a skill. So we're going to go over skills in a second, but the skill I used was the front end design skill. So I used Claude Code, and I said, hey, I need you to do an audit on my personal website, right? So I have two companies, Prism. I have more than two companies, but the two major companies that I have is Prism, and this is the website for Prism. So this is the Prism website, and it has all the different pieces of Prism. And I have another company called VersaSys, which is your virtual assistant company. It's a virtual assistant company, the Uber of labor. So if you're trying to scale, but you need quality help that knows how to use AI as good as you or better than you, then you want to hit up VersaSys, and then you can go to that site as well and check it out and see if there's any needs that you have from that site. All right. So saying this stuff not to pitch the sites, but to go over what, let me try to get back to the Jeff Bullock site. Like what I was able to do myself by myself. Like this was something that I did. I didn't have the team do. I was able to take care of this. And I'm not a software engineer. I'm not a by trade. I'm not a website developer. However, I would say this website looks pretty good. I'm definitely proud of it. And that was because of Claude, because I was able to use the front end design skill. Before it looked decent, but then after I used the front end design skill, it looked amazing. So I'm gonna take you over to the books section. And in the books, there's a book, Transcript Alchemy, the book that I wrote. So I just finished this book, and this talks all about the transcript piece that I was just telling you. I wrote this primarily because since 2003, when I started Prism, this has been the number one thing. Like if you have the data, if you have the transcript, then you can unlock the universe. But people still don't really quite get it. Still don't quite understand the power of a transcript. So I wrote this book, Transcript Alchemy, 101 Things That You Can Do with a Transcript. And this website that I created for the book was done by Claude, right? It was done by Claude. I used a front-end design skill, and it looks great. You got a free playbook, get the book, and then you click on get the book, and here are the different ways to do it. And the audiobook will be out next week. So all of this was done because of the front-end design, because of Claude Code, because of the connectors. I was able to do this. In order to create these books, you're like, okay, well, Jeff, how'd you create Transcript Alchemy? I used my transcripts. I used for the past 3 years. I got all these transcripts of meetings that I've had with my team and meetings that I've had with myself, just talking out loud with ideas, and meetings that I've had with my clients, of course, and prospect meetings, and volunteer meetings, and all types of different meetings. I have those transcripts. So then I said, okay, what's the takeaway here? What's the best practice? What's the ROI? And in that is 101 ways to turn talk into money, insight, and legacy. And that was the best 101. There's more than 101 different ways that I've been able to use those transcripts. But because of that, I was able to create this book and other books too, but this one specifically because of transcripts. So I wanted to share that with you, the power of a transcript. All right, so now we will go back to Claude. And we're going to go back to the customize where we have the connector apps and then the skills. So I told you that I will come back to the skills piece. So what is a skill? A skill, the best way to think about it is like a workflow or a process. And if you have that skill down, if you once you have it, once you have your workflow, then you can create all types of skills for that workflow. Now, I only have 2 skills saved into this particular Claude. Most of the times that I'm using Claude and with the skills, I am using Claude Code. So I can share my screen and show y'all in a bit with VS Code, but y'all don't have to use that. Y'all can just do it from here. And you say, okay, well, what skills might I need? Might you need? Well, here's my newsletter one, right? So whenever I need to do a newsletter, this one, it got Tuesday tips and tricks, the weekly breakdown for Friday, my style, a sample, a newsletter. So if I say, okay, go through my last, I could tell Claude, and we'll do this real time so you can see what that looks like from a skill standpoint. So we go new chat, and I'm going to talk to it. Hey, what's going on, Claude? Hey, what's going on, Claude? This is Dr. It can't hear me. Hello. Okay. Hey, hey, Claude. This is Dr. Jeff, and I would like you to create the newsletter for me for this week coming up. Let's have it be Tuesday tips and tricks, and I want you to first get the relevant context. So you need to go through the transcripts for the past 7 days, all the different transcripts, grab the insights from it. And once you grab those insights, also look at what has happened in the world of AI in this past week. And then I would say extrapolate or compare with those insights. And don't write the full newsletter yet, but kind of give me the outline or the preliminary of it before we actually do the newsletter. So that's kind of how I would start it. And then it's going to do all that work. It's going to it's going to read the newsletter skills, it's going to grab the transcripts, it's going to do that research, do that stuff. And then I'm going to talk to it and say like, oh, I want to do this, or I don't want to do that, or whatever the case may be. And then as we get to the end of it, then I'll say, okay, now let's go ahead and put the newsletter together with the skill. Then to put the newsletter, copy, paste, and then it's sent. So it's not so easy as to just say, okay, do the newsletter, but we don't want it to. I want at least how I like to do it is I wanted to make sure that it's my voice. I want to make sure that it's accurate because AI still does hallucinate, but it's a lot faster and a lot more thorough than it would be if I was doing it manually, each piece. All right, so it did that part. Now, one thing, hello, Claude, hello. Hello. Okay. Hey, one thing, Claude, is I don't think that you actually was able to pull the transcripts. You looked at the relevant chats, but you need to look at my Google Drive and pull the relevant transcripts for the past 7 days and make sure you have a good representation because I don't want nothing generic. Thank you. I don't want anything generic. Thank you. It needs to be my personal IP, things that Dr. Jeff has said that you're not going to find elsewhere. And I want to make sure it's going to give real value. Now, I told it up here to go pull those transcripts, but it tells you what it's doing. So just like you're going to if you have a junior worker or an intern, you're going to give them directions, but then you're going to check their work. So it told me that, oh, I couldn't find the transcript, so I'm just going to skip that step. No, you won't skip that step. You're going to go back and go do that step. And that's what we talked about last week on the AI Hustle with Dr. Jeff is what happens when AI, they don't necessarily hallucinate, but it just skips steps when you specifically told it what to do. So now you said, you're right. Let me pull the transcripts. Good. These are real transcripts. So it did. It went in the Google Drive and it went and it grabbed those transcripts. Now I have the actual words. So now it's going to be able to make the newsletter even better because it was able to actually grab those transcripts. So that is extremely helpful for me. And this is helpful for if you have a team, your team is able to do this and they have access to the drive or transcripts in there. Claude does, then if your team was doing some things and you have those access as the leader, you'll be able to help them and you'll be able to grab those insights. And then vice versa, same thing. If you have a teammate that's supposed to be helping you relieve some of the pressure from you, well, they can't do that if they don't have the relevant context. And if you have if they have the transcript, they will have it. So that is so that's transcripts, but then also using the connectors and using the skill. What's a skill? Workflow, right? Okay, cool. So we got the skill workflow. Let's go back. And the last piece that we want to go over today, plugins. What is a plugin? And what's the difference between a plugin and a skill? All right, so let's look at the most famous plugin for, well, there's a lot of famous ones, but we'll look at the design plugin. So this design plugin accelerates design workflows, critique design system management, so on and so forth. And it has a plugin is going to have skills and connectors automatically in it. So you say, okay, so is the Gmail, the Google, the Intercom, the Notion. So if you have these things already connected, because you have to have it connected already, then it's going to use these things in order to help with the design. If you have these skills, it will download and then it will be able to use these skills as well. So a plugin is a skill and a connector together for whatever that specific plugin's about. This one is design. So how would a small business use that? You would say, okay, hey, here's my brand. You could just ask it, how can you help me? That's what I recommend for all this stuff. Just put it in there. Say, hey, how can you help me? But if you want to go a little bit more advanced, then you can say, hey, I need my brand kit. Here's my logo and here's my colors. Go. And then it'll create your brand kit for you. And then you say, okay, now what am I going to use with this brand kit? How is this going to be able to get me insert goal, revenue, talent, impact, whatever the goal is. So that's a design one, right? All right. But that's not the only one. I'm going to give you 3 super popular plugins that since February changed the game. So the design one is one. Number 2, legal plugin. All right. So we look at the connectors for the legal plugin. It's Slack, Box, Ignite, Atlassian, DocuSign, Google Calendar, Gmail. If you have Outlook, then it will look at the Outlook as opposed to Gmail. So those are the connectors that's automatically going to do, but it will do whichever ones that you need it to. And then the skills, brief, compliance check, legal response. It's actually 9 of them there. Legal risk assessment, meeting briefing, review contract, signature request, triage, NDA, and vendor check. Now, I will be very clear. This does not take the place of a lawyer, but this helps you get closer to what you need to get to. And a lot of people just have no idea. They have no idea. Myself included, with a lot of different legal situations. You have different ideas that you might come in, like, hey, am I able to do this? Am I able to do that? Boom. Now you have something that has all your information and will be able to connect to give you the best advice. And it's going to be the first to tell you, hey, you need to get an actual lawyer to look this over or whatever the case may be. But this helps just for your own knowledge so that you're not so ignorant when you are, going to that lawyer when that time comes. And last but not least, the small business. Literally, there is a plugin called Small Business. 31 skills, 11 connectors, pre-built small business workflows. So payroll planning, month-end close, weekly briefs, growth campaigns, uses QuickBooks, PayPal, HubSpot, DocuSign, whatever your things that you use, it's going to bring in and help you from a small business standpoint. So we don't know what we don't know. I'm going to actually install it. We don't know what we don't know. So let's look and see what small business can do. So I'm going to go back, new chat. And as y'all see me doing, I like to coach. Talk to your AI if you can, if you're able to talk to it. Hey, what's going on, Claude? Dr. Jeff here. I just downloaded the plugin Small Business, and Prism AI Consultants is a small business. So I would like you to use your plugin to help me. What should I be able to do with small business plugin? And I'm doing a live LinkedIn AI hustle with that right now. Also being streamed on YouTube live right now. Hello, hello. What happened? Okay, so also being streamed on YouTube live as well right now and LinkedIn live. So, yeah, what would Prism? What would this do? The small business plugin for Prism. Thank you. Hey, good time for a live demo. Here's a straight answer. A small business plugin actually does no fluff. Suite of skills that plug into your business tools, money and cash, customer sales, marketing, briefings. Let's do it. Okay, well, we have plugins. We have things connected. Let's do some stuff. Useful stuff. My goal is to hit 1.7 million by the end of the year without using anybody's name for my clients. Privacy. Can you help me live? All right. So it's got PayPal, which I really don't use PayPal that much. I use Stripe more. So we can't, yeah. So that's okay, though. If you have your connectors in there, it'll definitely say we're not going to make the audience watch us troubleshoot off. So now we have, yep, so 10K monthly return of revenue, 37K Q1. But then we started ramping up in Q2. Level 1, level 2 deal size, level 3 acquisitions. So doing Silver Tsunami, right? So, okay. So then we would say, all right, give me the plan. What's going to make it? What's going to make it happen? So there's that. At the end of it, I can say, okay, now use the connectors, build out the whatever piece I need to build out, go find the people, and the small business plugin will be able to, just like I said, get us there faster. That's the artifact that makes it. So we now turn this into a working month by month model on the screen. Sure. Yeah, let's go ahead and see it so we can see what that looks like for it building that model. And while it builds that, because it's going to take a little bit to build that model, let's show, in addition to what Claude is doing there from a marketing standpoint, here are some examples of what it can do. Right now, the leader in AI video is CDance 2.0. So let's look at a 16-second promo. There you go. So 16-second commercial. That was made with one prompt with CDance. Yeah, let's look at another one. And this one, yeah, so let's look at another one that I actually did for a different company, because some people out there are not service-based, right? So this is for, in the Lehigh Valley, we have 3, I forget the name. It's in a Whitehall, but it's going to say at the end. 3-piece chicken and donuts in Whitehall. Yeah, so that's what that is. 3-piece chicken and donuts. 16-second, restaurant ad using CDance. So game has changed all around. Video, music, marketing, plugins, small business very, 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 very different time. So on the right-hand side here, as I'll come back here for what the small business plugin was able to do, it created an Excel file, which was essentially a model as to like what needs to happen in the game plan for how I'm going to be able to hit to that 1.7. As you can see, I got some work to do, but I'm no stranger to work. So the more that I'm able to get, the better, more influence I'm able to have and impact that I'm able to have to help people in scale. So I'm all up for the challenge. Thank y'all. Appreciate it. Let's go. If you like what you saw here today and you want some more, then come on down to school.com, SKOOL. And in the Prism community, we got 621 people in there now. We have Prism University. So if you want to get some group training, we're glad to have you there. But you can join for free. One thing that we're doing now is we have state-of-the-art AI state-of-the-art study guides, as well as lots of other things in our classroom section. Click on classroom. We have courses, we have materials, we have replay masterminds. So check us out. And as always, remember, be nice to yourself. Appreciate your time. Have a great day.
Sound the car engine turning off. Keys jingling, deep exhale. 8:55 a.m. same parking spot. White coat in the back seat. Welcome to Farmageddon, don't lose your mind. 4 meters running, you're running out of time. Stress going up and your safety going down. One wrong feel and they shut the whole thing down. Farmageddon, bet you won't survive the shit. Number 7, Farmageddon, bet you won't survive the shift. Number 7. Drive through beeping, line 3 on hold. Corporate wants the metrics, do what you're told. Student tech is panicking, drop the vial. Waiting bin is packed, overflowing down the aisle. Hydrocodone, metformin, Lisa No Pro. Verify the dose of somebody.